Anane son a champion son. Selector dead and can't touch it. Come
say, hey, Rastafari, to have a son. Some people are talking about 40 guys, which is a Bruno. That's 40 guys, people know so much solidarity, which is a Bruno. Because solidarity, they are in the same place, which is a Bruno. And therefore, your friend, your prayer, your prayer, your friend was war, your friend to me. And Rasta, in person, I can't share. I'm not looking for, in himself, she wants to I know when you for, I love it, actually, I'm from home. I'm not looking for a sound of the mountain. When any cigar of your air cost when you know ever, I was after the second coming of Christ. And one you, yes, and 1 year, and 1 year, no, and 1 year, no, and I'm going to dance your money, as I sing, I dance your money, and you bring your dance your money, and I'm going to dance your money. Lubna, Musini, Hamama, Munya, Framo, Moshe, and Susu Manipur. Your friend, your breakfast, and you about them all. And your friend Apole, your friend National, your friend Nisho, and your friend will see or some said at also, Aruma, Munya, Mufis, the Mumray. One more Mumra, is Mabe Mumra. I be for him, I was so, I be for him, I was as so, I be for him, I was so, your friend, I be for him, I was so. I be for him, I was as so, I be for him, I was so, the from now, but I'm a tell of us, Muna, teach that day, you get a piano, and then Baku, and ya, and come from the Baku, in your say, the beauty of the day, but I, yes, ultimate yellow, you say, I'm back, saying a situation. But therefore, I say, you're smart of Yassini, then when you're smart and a mountain, so Piazzu, no more disappointed or and I don't trust us when you say the chair, the church. It's not therefore, say, people never, they are not two, I have a two, some of them, maybe now, and Hindu, say they are now, Pusu, one, who are Monsen, Yes, no Kundia, yes, no Consuel, yes, Yansa. Oh, Pessica, Musica, Rasta, Yesica. Yesica, Sicaso, million trillions. And I will have trillions. And Yesica, therefore, you put a movie. You're not MPs for Rasta, you're not residents for Rasta, you're not ministers, you're not bank managers, you're not lawyers, you're not deep for, you're not commercial for, you're not painful, and therefore, and you're info. I can say, I go to the crowd, say, hey, who are you on Rasta for? Better for it, I say, for whatever. That was end of social. We like it. I get absolutely the first of sorrow, any assassin. A boy, and a phone experience you are dancing. Then I have to do that. And I said, talk, no, Manabo. Talk, no, Manabo.
So you started and a push.
Most stars last year,
Rastafari.
Excellent John, Marcos stars last year.
Rastafari.
I don't like this in the house. Last year,
Rastafari.
yeah. It's still 123 years of fiction. Of good over evil.
Yes, sir.
Under the leadership of Emperor Empress Title. Italian forces, Africans defeated our European enemies.
Yeah, man.
We did that 123 years ago. We can do that today, and we will do that in the future because it's our natural mandate to safeguard our African heritage and sovereignty. We hereby request that the Naya Bingi goes down. We have t-shirts available for sale, and it is requested of us as part of supporting this event to purchase a t-shirt, and also once we do so, you'll be supporting the upcoming May conference, the international conference. At this juncture, we will call on our moderators to give us a brief on the discussions they had. If the moderator for the seed banking group is ready, Bobo Selassie will give us a brief. And please, we are time conscious. We are hard pressed with time. And so we would like to be very specific to the agenda. And so we have 2 minutes to give. The president has been very lenient to give us 3 minutes to give a report. So I hereby invite Bobo Selassie, Group 1, to give us a report on seed banking for agricultural development.
Rastafari.
Let us give a round of applause. Last year is
Rastafari.
Last year, to give them how good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to do that in unity. Rastafari.
Celestia.
On our seed banking session, I was co-supported by Madam Limbadega. It's long. She's a permaculturist and specialist in seed banking and sustainable agriculture. That's why she was invited as a resource person to support us. And so she will help me if I'm not clear with some of the things. So I think she will start because she took the notes. Thank you.
Rastafari.
Thank you, sir. So we were discussing about seed banking, and then we realized that seed banking is a way of storing your seeds and then preserving it. Because of this invention of GMO and other seeds, our local seeds are gradually diminishing from the system. So we put it on a burden on us to store and preserve our local seeds. And then we were asking ourselves, do we still have our local seeds? And we were like, yes, we still have our local seeds. Even if they are not there, we can get our local seeds back. By taking a particular grain, you can multiply it for 5 years. And then when you go and test it, you get your local seeds. And we said, okay, so if we take the seeds and then we multiply it for 5 years, we can get our local seeds. What else can we do to get our local seeds? So from our group discussion, we got to realize that you have to do research. After research, you have to investigate, because there are people who have knowledge on how you can get your local seeds back. After investigation, you shouldn't just say, okay, I have researched, I have investigated. Document whatever you have investigated, and then even if you are not there, future generation can look through what you have documented and then also take it from there. Then we said, okay, now if you research, if you document, if we investigate, how are we going to preserve and protect our local seeds that we have gotten now? Then we realized that we can use local materials like neem powder, wood ash to protect our local seeds. So our conclusion, we realized that it is our whole mandate. Everyone here, even if you were not part of the seed banking session, it is our whole mandate to protect and preserve our seeds, because you have to be mindful of what you eat and then what you drink. And food is one of the things that keep us alive. So from there, we also make suggestions to the council and the people who are here, and also the entrepreneurs group. So I'm giving it to Salati to continue from there.
Thank you, Linda. As a challenge to the council, we decided that we'll give training to a number of members from all the regions. But particularly if Kumasi can provide us with, let's say, 5 acres of land or less any amount of acres of land, then we can begin a seed banking demonstration site in a particular part of the country first. But we need members from all the Rastafari mansions and houses all over the region to have a particular day that will have a workshop for them. This will be challenged by the council. So after providing them our report within a month, 3 weeks to a month, the council should be able to come out with a budget and consult other organizations like Food Sovereignty Ghana, Eco Village, Permaculture, who have the same mindset of preserving and protect our indigenous seed and food, so that they can come up with a budget that can support the participants that will be trained for at least 1 or 2 weeks in seed banking and seed preserving, that they can go back to their various communities and regions and have this bank established. That is what we are coming up to, training. And then also, after the training now, if we don't have the number of people that will go to every region and start that, a particular region must be established from our closing from here. We must be able to identify a region that will be able to say, if Ghana, if the Rastafari Council of Ghana is ready today to establish a seed banking center, we are ready to provide that land. That's what we are up to now. Any region that will be ready to provide us land, we are ready to have a first seed bank in the name of the Rastafari Council of Ghana. And while we are challenging the entrepreneurial group, who are the people from the entrepreneurial group, as they're talking about business entrepreneurship, they should relate their businesses to the seed banking and agriculture sector, that by ongoing we can have a well-established support for our farmers who are ready and willing to support back the council with some form of agricultural income generating activities. So that is what we are coming with as a seed banking system. So we need a seed banking center as a demonstrational center for the Rastafari Council of Ghana. One, to be established and taking care of other regional capitals. We need one everywhere. But for now, if a region can provide us with the land, we are ready to train the people and provide them with necessary training and a requirement that is needed to be a food seed banker and also a seed producer and seller to the community to create some income generating activities for the Rastafari Council of Ghana. We are not going to do the seed for distribution alone, but also as an income generating activity so that the council can create some money. Thank you very much.
Very powerful one there from our seed banking group. Now the challenge is up to Kumasi to give us 5 acres for the demonstrational site. I'm Kofi Asante. I moderated a group on youth development. And I'll present.
One voice.
Ago. Yes, on the youth development, our youth group identified that our education must start from at the basic level. We must target those at the second cycle institution to give them this kind of African-centered education that our educational curricula denies us of. The Youth Development Group emphasized on African-centered education, and the group is recommending that we work with genius and curriculum planners to plan an African-centered education for our youth, because the group identified that the educational curriculum as we have is not African-centered. In fact, Kwame Nkrumah said the education that has been handed over to us is colonial education, and hence this commission recommends that we decolonize this education. And that's on education. On issues of employment and youth empowerment, it was recommended that the youth group would take advantage of government initiatives. For example, the planners for food and jobs to secure employment for our teeming youth. So that is also worth considering. The Youth Commission also identified that the Rastafari Council of Ghana, as we have a shining Women's Commission, we have a shining Cultural Commission, we do not yet have a Youth Commission. And taking an example from the Rastafari Continental Council, we are going ahead, or we have advised that the Constitution include a Youth Commission that will be responsible for realizing the objectives, or responsible for advancing the interests of youth, particularly Rastafari youth in the country. And so this recommendation is tabled to executives for consideration. On the issue of entertainment, our youth development group feels that musical events can be staged in various communities, because reggae music itself is used as a tool for development. In fact, UN just recognized reggae music as a heritage, a cultural heritage. And looking at how far we have advanced in Rastafari, especially here in Ghana, we can empower our youth musicians by creating some of these community music educational programs that will help carry the message through the music. In summary, this is the position of the Youth Development Group. Again, have the honor of inviting our International Relations Officer, who is also a member of the Cultural Commission of the Rastafari Continental Council. Original Rastafari, he moderated the group discussion on Rastafari Continental Council and the Rastafari Council of Ghana Constitution. Let's invite Original with a warm round of applause.
I'm very happy to see everybody. I don't want to happen. I'm so glad I'm up for that. Big thanks most. Right, representing everything. Let's get to the point. We keep to the point and we keep it straight. Is Rastafari Council of Ghana that we set up at the moment, but through all the achievement we've been able to achieve the Rastafari Continental Council. So I've been moderating the sector that has to do with both RSCG and RSCC relating to the different commissions that are there. I hope everybody understands what I'm trying to say. Everybody all right, yeah? The English sometimes is too much, make I bring them down small, yeah. See the things say, we have different things we have to deal with. So the commissions, as far as commission is concerned, these are active organs that are supposed to reflect the Constitution. That means what we have agreed in the Constitution of Rastafari Council of Ghana, as well as the Rastafari Continental Council. You need different organs or bodies that can be able to do this work. Hence, the different commissions were set up. Now in Ghana, you just heard from the late speaker, Kofi Asante. He made it clear that there are some commissions that are lacking, and he wants the Youth Commission to be added. And I'm sure there are many other commissions that we will need to add. But adding is not just adding 1 + 2. They must be organized and they must be available. You need to have the people ready to take on the job. So right now we'd say, as far as Ghana is concerned, we have the Culture Commission, we have the Women's Culture Commission, and we're looking forward to the expansion. So out of our workshop, which we just had, majority of the people in the workshop today were from the Ashanti region, and I'm honored to have the chief also with me, and he was here speaking, and as well as delegates and members of Ashanti region. But what we came forward with is something that cuts across, like you say. Agriculture doesn't represent only the farmers' cooperative. It cuts across because it's Rastafari culture. Agriculture is your culture, and if you lose your culture, you be a vulture. Vulture has no place. Last year. Sure. And so out of our workshop, it was clear that you cannot move Rastafari Council of Ghana forward or move the Rastafari Continental Council forward without culture. So the Ashanti region also said they would take on culture and would hope that the culture can go through Women's Commission, can go through the Youth Commission. So across the board, all the different commissions that will be developed will have a culture context. And let me say to you, in RCC there are different commissions. So you have the Trade Commission, you even have Agriculture and Lands Commission, you have Immigration Commission, and you have the Culture Commission and the Trade Commission. So we will hope that Rastafari Council of Ghana will increase its different commissions and have a group, have people that can represent to ensure that it takes this form. I don't want to talk too much, but I would like to call Nana on stage. Please come and say a few words. John! I don't speak for myself, I and I speak together most of the time. Slap your ass.
Bless the Lord. I think Raskobi has said, just come to bless it, All we're saying is that, when we're saying the culture involves all, Culture is life. Culture is your communication, the way you speak, the way you live, the way you do things, So when we're saying that the culture, it means all the commissions are going to be in it. So I think we accepted like what you said, we have already said all that I said. But then, we must have a place, because right now, if we say that we present all the commissions, where do we communicate from? Where do we link up from? Definitely, we need to link up with the headquarters. We need to link up with the council. But we must have somewhere to be meeting. We must have somewhere to be, together, So, but as I said before, I personally have promised to give a place for the Rasta Council. But that's not going to be in Kumasi capital per se. It's going to be aspect of Kumasi. That means we should use it for, other purposes. Definitely, I can do it. But for the meantime, when we're talking about the culture, where we want to be, that should be in Kumasi. So definitely, we have to look for a place also where we should be gathering or having meetings and operating from. So I think, good time for so far what we have come up with from our commission.
Rastafari, with this conclusion, we have a youth who was also involved, and the youth commission is going to be set. We give thanks last year. Thank you for your time,
Original. Most Aisha. Yes, we do give thanks. We are hereby inviting the fourth group that is called Street and Entrepreneurship. Please let's welcome Japan with a round of applause.
So I will give thanks for the conference team. Yes, we as in Group 4, we discussed about trade and entrepreneurship, and I would like to explain a little bit about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship simply means, it's a French word, and it simply means to do. And so we are members of RCG, we want to empower ourselves, encourage ourselves to try and then actualize ourselves try and develop something. I made an example to my fellow group members about the WASI students who won the National Science and Maths quiz in Ghana just last year, and they were sent to one of the African countries to go and contest or compete with various African countries who are also doing maths and science. And to our surprise and our disgrace, our Ghanaian counterparts were asked to develop something and they couldn't develop anything. Why? Because they only do chill and bore. Now we as members of RCG, the time has come for us to rise up and develop something. Try and then come up with our own skills and then market it and cut out the sufferation on Rastaman in Ghana. And so when we talk about entrepreneurship and trade, it's cut across board. Some of our members deal in home use goods. They started by purchasing 1 or 2 appliances. Now they have made it into shops. They have shops and they have been able to purchase land and put up structure through the buying and selling. Yes, myself, I'm also into cleaning and ironing business. Through that, I have shop where I use leftover goods as recycling and I turn them into new products. So these are some of the things that we are talking about. How you can create things out of nothing. And so our group was able to identify certain things that as an entrepreneur you need to know and take a critical look at it. First of all, as an entrepreneur, if you want to start a business, you need to have a business plan. Most of us here may have ideas, may have plans, but we don't know how to go about it. Now we have members amongst us who have ideas and they can help us develop business plan. And so as an entrepreneur, you must have a business plan. After having the business plan and on side and side, you must research about what you want to bring on the market so that you can know your competitors on the market and then you know how you are going to produce and where you are going to sell your product. Now, after you have been able to do all this market research and then come out with your plan, you need to have education, consult. You don't have to think that you are the owner of the business and so you cannot employ somebody who has the technical skill or who has the know-how to help you in your business. You can be the operations manager, but then you can employ somebody to be your marketing personnel, or you can employ somebody to be your accountant who can keep your accounts for you and then things can go on smoothly. Don't forget that our gathering here is to make sure that we free up ourselves from the separation. And so we are doing things that can help each other one way or the other. Now the second point on our list is that as an entrepreneur, you have to be innovative. I also made another example that I went to buy wache in the town this morning, and to my surprise, the wache seller has pear on the side. And the fact that you tell her that you are purchasing wache at 5 cedi, naturally she just adds some pear to your wache for you, making it spice up. That is innovative.
Packaging.
And so we just have to think deep and add some touch into whatever we are doing to make it more attractive so that we can earn more on whatever we are producing. As an entrepreneur, you must also bear in mind that you have to be sure that there will be risk, uncertainties in your business. Some people, when they produce 1 or 2 and they are not able to sell or clear their product, they lose hope in whatever they are producing and then they go back and say they can't work again. No, sir. You don't have to do that. You have to keep pushing, perseverance. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. One day, your market will go up. And so it's a matter of, self-sustenance and self-perseverance. That will get you to the top. We have a lot of people in Ghana who started small and now they have made it big. Somebody like Kwame Despite. He started by selling cassettes and now he has established FM stations, TV stations, and now he's into products, producing of, a lot of products, water, drinks and all that. So, as an entrepreneur, you must be innovative, you must conduct a lot of research, you must follow procedures that will make your business achieve the success that you are looking at. And then also hire the right people. And the most important of all is that you must be disciplined. As an entrepreneur, you must be disciplined, you must build up teamwork, you must be patient, you must be honest towards your customers and yourself and your business. These are some of the points that you have to embark on to make sure that whatever small thing that you have started, it can get to a bigger point. So, like I was saying, we have exemplary stories as motivations, and then as creative skills and creative members, you must have people, mentors, that you can listen to them, who can encourage you on whatever journey that we want to embark on. And so, as we see in our midst here as Rastafari Council members, we have other Rastas amongst us, we have entrepreneurs amongst us who are ready to support us and guide us through whatever plans that we have set up to do. And so from our group 4, our points were most of advice, encouragement, and then the way forward for we as members, how we can give a touch to the little start that we have begun so that it can become a bigger company. And let's not forget, RCG has become the foundation for us to tap into it. The cooperative union, which is our backbone, making sure that the fact that you register as a member, straight up, you have an account in there. So you start to put something small in there. For 3 months, you are able to get something from that account and then start your business. So this is the base for us, and we have to applaud that for ourselves. Okay. So I will end my speech by saying that in Ghana now, even after university, they are telling us to try and be self-creative. Now the governmental agencies are all full up with 70 years and 80 years men in the offices who don't want to move out for we to come in. And so I would like to urge all my brethren and sisters and all the elders here that let us try and connect with each other, like we form the groups. There is one brethren who is in my group in Kumasi here, developing a bicycle seat. Through the group, we realized that I can become an outlet for him in Koforidua by purchasing some of his goods and putting it in my shop in Koforidua so that we can also make market in Koforidua. So these are some of the connections that we can get for we becoming part and members of this noble union. So I give thanks. Rastafari.
Very powerful. At this juncture, we are inviting 5 minutes, strictly 5 minutes of interaction, questions. Our rapporteur general is going to give us a wrap of all that has prevailed since morning. Before he comes in, we would like to get feedback from you. Do you have questions concerning all that you have heard? We have 5 minutes for this session.
Rastafari. This one goes to the Rastafari community. And this is coming from the platform that I think one of the officials were forced to resign. And we would like to brief about that.
Give thanks. We'd like to take your questions and then go to the high table for feedback.
Yeah, Rastafari, protector, redeemer. Yeah, this is Kojo Apia. Yeah, from Volta region. Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, to be a true Rastaman, you have to be a dedicated one, of course. But what has been going on in this country, when you study our radio system, they do anything and go free in the name of Rastafari. Even this show, a presenter was doing Rastafari show, whereby what is happening today, he even doesn't touch what is happening, he doesn't know. So what rule or regulation is the chairman having for these guys sitting on the radio doing this in the name of this? And then the second, I met you at Volta region. That was 11th June last year. And then I questioned you concerning how is this legalization stuff going to look like? Are we going to march to the president? And you assure me this year by his grace, Jah will do
do that. So this one I'm expecting from Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. Yeah, man. Rastafari.
Yeah, my question was, I think you tapped into it. I would have, loved to have a commission or a group to handle aside to discuss the decriminalization issue. I think we have to put more emphasis on decriminalization of marijuana. We have to put more emphasis. We cannot make opportunities like this without some serious, proper strategizing. Yes, thank you, my lord.
Rastafari. Rastafari. Yeah. I'm Jaima from Befiko, Nabingi House. My question goes to the Rastafari Council, the elders, about the legalization, as my brother said, and decriminalize the health. Now I was thinking, not like the discussion, but I was thinking the discussion of the legalization will come in the discussion. So if that's not coming, we want the Rastafari Council assure you today they will back with, or they will support the legalization from today, because the brother man will follow all this discussion we did, but later he will be arrested with only one rule. Like the money all we lost from that one rule. So we beg Rastafari Council. I want them to support we have. For legalization, the youths are ready to support. So we want them to hear. We want them to say something to us about the legalization. We beg, because this is our burden, our serious burden onto us, because we can follow all the work. But legalization is serious than all, because Rasta have problem with the marijuana, as we all know in this Ghana here. Rastafari.
I think 5 minutes almost out.
Yeah. So
we'll take the last question.
Take the last two.
No, the last thing. I have Sister Joseph to take the last question.
Last year, I've seen that when they talk of Rastafari, works is sacrificial work. But to me, a lot of brothers are getting more discouraged and pulling back. So moving forward, we need to, as a council, what form of strategic advices can we give so that the coming of brothers on board will be more kind of effectively moving? Because when it comes like that, the program is being planned already. You can't go back, so it becomes a burden on few people. So moving forward, what kind of disciplinary action or form of kind of seriousness that will be put into more, so that if somebody is not ready to do it, you must back up some of the things with some kind of laws and things to make it more kind of realistic than people just giving promises and vain support with verbally and nothing is happening. So to me, I want the council, what is the way forward to tackle all these measures? Because this is not the number of persons that were promised to be here, but what are we doing to... All right. So I think my question is well understood. Yes, sir. Yes.
I am Coco Ernest from Volta Bangalore. My question, we give thanks each and every time last year event. I want to know what the council or the initiative that the council is putting on board to reduce or to bring about conflict resolution in the council or this fraternity. That is my question.
Greetings. Rastafari. First of all, I greet each and everyone here, and that's with the precious name of our dear Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who has this day revealed in the personality of His Imperial Majesty.
Emperor Haile Selassie the First of Ethiopia.
Young daddy.
Lord, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, the head of a right throne ruler, and the defender of the true Christian faith, Rastafari. Please, I want to ask a question. I don't understand something small, and I just want to ask. Earlier on when the meeting started, the president said, our president, and the cabinet, and then the congregation, I think majority is shouting about the herbs, the smoking. For example, I'm not fighting the herb, but some of us, we don't smoke. And I'm afraid, some of us, we have children, I mean, majority of us over here, we have small boys who are going to SS. Sometimes, the boys didn't come to Rasta before they know how to smoke. I realize some people go to SS, they learn many things, not only ganjas. But when the boys start to misbehave, their parents said, Washiwi. Even when they take tramol, blue, anything, they said, Washiwi. You understand me? And right now, everybody is fighting for the thing to legalize. Fine. You people want it. They will legalize for you. But what are we teaching our children? If they legalize it right now, Ghana chapter, intercontinental, home and abroad, what are you, the white people are showing what they do with the head. They show it in CNN, Al Jazeera. I've been watching when I'm in home. Ghana here, you want ganja to legalize? Alright, they will legalize one day. But if they legalize it, I'm coming. Please, it's a serious question.
Understood
if they legalize it, what are we going to do with it? Already they haven't legalized. We smoke already. They haven't finished legalize it. When we are traveling, we know how to keep it. Police can watch, search us, they can never find unless you are careless. Even if you travel, you don't have. By the time you reach where you are, Jah will send somebody to come and do what? Give you. So I'm looking for people that think illegal. Fine. My last question. If they legalize it, did you people sit down and I salute people, sir. Did you people think about what are you going to do with the thing? Are you going to use the thing for medicine or for asthma?
We have a lot of
antidotes.
We are not fighting for smoking alone. We are not talking of smoking alone. We have a lot of uses for that.
Decorum, let's make it.
Holy Emmanuel has lost I'm more for representing Asante. Don't ask the council, the head of the council, about the 20th April March. It will be on regional basis or national, because Asante here, for instance, they are brutalizing X on the health. So that will happen in Accra. We won't have some here, so that we too can petition our regional council. How they, brutalize the youth, especially Rasta. When you are in car, they see any lost man. You are the target, So we want to do something about it. So if it will happen only in Accra, Kumasi, we want also have our own here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It should be regional.
Yes, we'll take response from our panel.
Last year,
on the legalization of
what you call it, the ganja walk is going to be national. We said that we're asking the brethren when you go back to your regions, and then we cited the example of Julius Asante, who did a one-woman walk. Who remembers Kwesi Pratt's walk? When African Regency Hotel Wawa story came, and Kwesi said he's doing a walk with one shot, just one picture.
Yeah.
So you see, these things are more symbolic And in this day and age where social media is driving everything, if even 10 of us are bold enough to walk on the street without any weed, so if 100 police come and search you, you see nothing. Then we'll take a walk, and then we do a good walk in all the regions. We'll give a copy of the letter to the regions so that you can share with your regional command. Arbitration, but as what? So it's never be only the worry you. Aswan used to be the chairman of our arbitration committee. But like he told you, next year he will reach the mandatory retirement age of 65. So the challenge is if he comes back to step up the arbitration, the youths have to be ready to work with him on arbitration. Yeah, we'll generate revenues to support the work because without money you can't do nothing. And yes, sometimes we have to be true to ourselves. Somebody tells you, I'm coming to the conference. Look him in the face and say, I can't come. Let's be bold. It's better you tell your brethren the truth than to deceive you. Understand? And that's what we'll deal with what the Volta brethren and Bobo Selassie was talking about. Well, Javi said it all. He said that let's place more emphasis on decriminalization of the herb. You see, our young person was asking if today get legalized, we may not be ready to take advantage of the market. When we crowded out of the market. If we go for decriminalization, which means like in South Africa, if I have 10 raps, I'm cool. That is the first step, decriminalization and changing what we know. You understand? Then after that, after we built our capacities and we've matched up capital, like my young businessman is saying, you actually do, and we can build factories. Because otherwise, what you're going to do is you fight for legalization. Any like Jamaica, in Jamaica, the big corporate bodies have jumped in the business, and the ordinary Rasta man is having to even hustle to get the money to do the enterprise. So the ganja thing is on our front burner. Personally, before I came here, I did an interview on Metro TV yesterday morning because they have seen a documentary I've done on TV3, and President K expressed it as a wave. He's been on all the TV stations. And the other day, Joy FM called me, they wanted to do a documentary, and I said, well, because they said, oh, yes, he's done all our documentaries, now we want a different voice. So it's something we're very passionate about, and we'll continue to be very passionate about it. I'm sure the work with the radio presenters, the media committee will take up that work. Last 2 years when Professor Campbell came, he gave us very good ideas on how we can work with the media, especially the radio presenters. Sometimes people do not know. And if Bontai was there, we would have given him a round of applause. Bontai has been very supportive of this. We came, he gave us interviews on the thing. He wasn't even here. And that's evidence of the fact that people are ready to work with you if you put your best foot forward. So I'm sure the media committee will put something together and engage. I remember Prof. Campbell told us, let's have a list of all the radio presenters in the country and then give them information every week. That way, you would have built a relationship with them. But if, anyway, not talk too much. And then the issue of the forced resignation of the Blaster Line Cooperative Credit Union chairperson. Edwin, let's give Edwin a round of applause. He's the acting chair now. What happened is,
actually, he's the chair. By order, I present.
Okay, he's the chairman. He's the chairman. What happened is, the credit union, when the council set it up, we got a board. In the board, not all the people on the board are Rasta people. It's a board. So there's people of different backgrounds. But the common bond that holds us is Pan-Africanism. That we all believe in Pan-Africanism and we adhere to Pan-Africanism. So, I don't know how many of you have heard of the Blaster Line, of the Marcos Garvey ball. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. But here, if you haven't heard of that ball was held And after the ball was held in the name of the credit union, some individuals stepped aside and they were appointed to do that ball that the credit union did. And last year we had a wonderful ball at Anisa Hotel, Plaster Line, called Marcus Garvey Ball. And this year some people who are on the board went to register something like that, the Marcus Garvey Ball, the Register Foundation has a ball. And then the vibe. So in a board meeting, personally I told the chairperson that I'm placing a vote of no confidence in the leadership. That's what I said. Me, I laugh, I play, but don't cross the line with me. And don't test our patience. I hear nice, humble and respectful people, but if you disrespect us, we'll tell you. So we told her that, Madam, what you've done, it merits a vote of no confidence. And Edwin, who was the deputy chair then, also said, look, this thing you've done, if me I did it, you let me go free. Do you understand? So on the basis of that, we passed a vote of no confidence in her by a margin of 2-1. And then she said, I have resigned. So this is the chronology of events. Nobody forced anybody to resign. Do you understand? The vote of no confidence was passed in somebody. And the person said, I resign. Thank you.
I just want to respond to Bobo Selassie. Bobo Selassie, are you in?
Bobo.
All right. I think when it comes to those issues in terms of getting people to be proactive, there's two ways you can deal with it. There's a scientific way in which they call social engineering, which you have to come up with psychological means to get person to act and get certain things done. And that is a scientific, and it works. It's working right now. It is working right now. A lot of things that we are doing right now in the world, the social engineering is making us do it without consent to really do it by ourselves. But there's some manipulation that is going on. Psychologically. We can do social engineering ourselves, which is positive. And that's what we probably need to do with our people. A lot of people are not proactive and not serious about the work and so on and so forth. I would take a scientific approach. Secondly is that, you see, when you have activities that are beneficial to the individuals, like for instance, I was listening to the group over here that was dealing with entrepreneurship. There's going to be a bond in this group, strong bond, because there are beneficial interests that is coming out of it, and that is even causing them now to go to the lifestyle and provide components of what they need, which they cannot get from the bank. So with that solidarity and that unity, that will keep you together, right? So we need to find things that we have in common, that we can work to overcome, you know, some kind of entity that will stay together. So that's what we have to look into.
Our Rapporteur General, Ras Malcolm, will give this report.
Very well, Mr. Rastafari. Yes, I would like to start off by taking a quote from Right Honorable Marcus Mozart. It says, if we as a people realize the greatness from which we came, we will be less likely to disrespect ourselves. So, give thanks for this gathering. It's been so seminal, it's been so very fruitful, and it all began when actually I and I gathered here, right here at the Senate Conference Hall in Kumasi, and it was under the theme of organizing and centralizing for Rastafari development, the 4th National Conference. The President, Auma Bosco Kanse, actually filled the floodgates open with an opening address right after the PV session and the libation that was got you from the Empresa Royal group. Then really the President underscored the need for the National Rastafari Council of Ghana to be an umbrella body to seek for mutual interest and ensure the synergies of Rastafari so we can tap in and actually the children who wear locks are afforded in various public schools where they are discriminated against. And also, Chairman, also the President, also the advocacy that has been taken upon by the Council against the genetically modified food. And also on the continental front, how we are synergizing with Rastafari continentally. And hinted about the international conference, which is a must attend in the Eastern region that is impending in May 25th for 2 days. And he also underscored how in 2009 the council was formed with the Black Star Line Credit Union. And how the credit union has been a bulwark to ensure that we put our money where our mouth is. And the Rastafari Council President also underscored the need for it to be a forum so that it can be an interplay and an interface for I&I. By Empress Mawina Sapi, who also underscored the philanthropic works that have been undertaken in recent time and some of the humanitarian projects that have been undertaken by the Commission, as was formed under Article 6, Clause 29, which establishes the Women's Commission legally within the constitutional framework of the Council, and ensuring the need for a balance, because most often, due to the paternalistic lineages, dispensations, there is a need and there is a tendency for people to think that it's a man thing, but we're born batty boy, but we don't want to give the woman them a blast. So the need for the Women's Commission is very, very, very important and pertinent, and is being very much carried out and carried forward under the able leadership of President Mawina Sapi, doing all that philanthropic work and portraying the woman role, and hinted of the family day that is upcoming on the 7th of April, the Men Day, right at the Brick Garden. They've done some great works. And also we have messages, solidarity messages from the various mansions. The Rastafari Unification Center actually came in with some message underscoring the need that Rastafari is a serious business, and if you're not serious, don't take it upon yourself. The Bayfi Krum Nayabini House, led by Bongo, he also came through, underscoring how they actually took a start in the walk, 420 walk for the decriminalization of marijuana, and all the inroads they've been able to make. President Tex Yagayo also came in with a solidarity message from the Church of Israel Ghana chapter, underscoring the efforts of the Rastafari Council of Ghana, imploring it to do more. Tapu Bob Marley also spoke on repatriation, condemning police brutality, and decrying how Rastas actually at such gatherings make very, very lofty pledges, but go and sleep on it and nothing is seen of it until the next year calling. And I also give the roadmap of what has been achieved so far in the Western region. Eastern region, Jason also brought forth what has been transpiring so far in the Eastern region, calling for collective security for surety. In Volta region, Bobo Selassie also paid homage to two brethren who passed on, and used that as a sequel to paint the picture that right now no one is petrified by if one Ras actually passes on, who will be the person to actually lay the Ras to rest. And also spoke about some very good works, communal works that they have been doing in the Volta region, like tree planting, community cleanup, etc., etc., and pay posthumous tribute to the children that passed on. Well, Brown Position, Sister Sister Marian also give thanks to the ancestors, and also for the Techiman Zion train keeping Rastafari banner flying high up in Techiman, calling for a need for visit from the national chapter and from other regional chapters to strengthen I&I since Aya Chapnet Aya. Then Ashanti region, Prophet Georges, who is also known as Nana Opon, also spoke on the history of Bobo Asante that was derived from the Asante region, and also how it is pertinent for the Rastafari Council to have a headquarters in Kumasi because of the very primordial role that Asante region has been playing in liberation and in various central matters. And also, the representative from Musica, Opo, also made a point that on March 7th, there will be a walk by the Musica against non-formal sector corruption. Then the Royal Mpese family, led by Ni Osabu Akui the first, also indicated that the Ghana Traditional Council has actually put them together to uplift the banner of the Rastafari community and has therefore installed them and in that dispensation to be able to bring to the fore the synergies between the Rastafari on the continent and the brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and the diaspora. And it is very pertinent to note that we all can come together to take up some very productive ventures like agriculture as well as industry, etc., etc. And they pledge to give a land grant to the Rastafari Council in Accra for more collaborative works. The acting chairman of the Food Sovereignty Ghana, in the person of Mr. Edwin Bafo, also took stand and actually paid a standing ovation to the efforts and the exploits of Emperor Menelik at the Battle of Adwa, and as a result called on such energies to be brought to bear within the Rastafari centralization and the Black Star Credit Union. He called for a need for financial empowerment to put our money where our mouth is, and lauded the effort in the establishment of the Black Star Credit Union that was actually undertaken 10 years ago, and called for one and one to be able to put back some money as savings that could be used to support the Black Star Credit Union. That will be a resource pool to support I&I industrial activities or anybody who might be in need. So the money that is being used to buy Rizla and Sobolo, some should be put aside to save for the Black Star Credit Union to be very vibrant and support I&I in times of need. He was wearing two hats, and also as the communications director of the Food Sovereignty Ghana, actually painted the gloomy picture of our agriculture as the Food Sovereignty Ghana is putting up a very stiff fight that needs support against the genetically modified organisms in our food, where he indicated, for example, how there is blacks in agriculture, yet there is no GMO, but they are making a case for GMO to ensure that there is excess supply of food, but farm gates are inaccessible, and also 2% of land is only irrigated. How much more if 6% of land is irrigated? These are pertinent issues that we must actually avert our minds to, and Mr. Edwin Bafo actually averted our minds to that. Uncle Nash also came through, lauded the efforts of the predecessors of Rastafari, and calling on all to ensure that though the road is rocky and rough, we should actually push forward. The keynote address was given by Ras Aswad Inkrabia, who gave rather a very stimulating address. I would like to call it a sociological, psychological perspective of Rastafari, where he pointed a picture of citing Rastafari 17 years on, and now 64. He thought it wise that it would be good to give way for the youth to take to the front line as he takes the backbench and does other matters arising out of Rastafari, and lauded the exploits of the President of the Rastafari Council of Ghana. That sounded more like a living memoriam, as he is here and is not passed on, but his memoriam be actually read to him. So Ras Aswad Inkrabia actually how there is a need for the RCG actually the approach, and the individual authority of the president was brought to bear by identifying the various individual skills and synergizing it to ensure that optimum output is actually achieved. And in that respect, he likened the president of the Rastafari Council, his organizational exploits, to that of Asadi for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And in that vein, he also relayed how leadership was very challenging, and likened the leadership skills of Emperor Haile Selassie Ajah
Rastafari. And also record our strategies and our skills and whatever. So I want to big her up on this day because many get enough big up already. So big up to all the empresses in the house. Big up to Sister Mara who is not here and all of them. Right? Rastafari. Okay. Beloved brothers and sisters, on this significant historical day, March 2nd, 2019, it is with great honor that I extend my heartfelt appreciation for this opportunity to be addressing this audience gathered in honor of the Battle of Adowa, celebrate 123rd anniversary of the victory of Ethiopia over the colonial occupying country Italy. A colonial power who at the time would be considered a superpower. Just like when America a misbehave and chew them weight all over the place. It's that kind of power they had at the time, right? And a group of barefoot soldiers, men and women, beat them, right? So you must know the kind of power that Ethiopia had at the time. Throughout the world, the news of victory of Adowa created a surge of racial pride among people of African descent in places all over the world, such as the Gold Coast, South Africa, the United States. That became a victory. I don't think it was from Italian colonization and raised its status from that of an isolated nation whose institution, heritage, and people were held in contempt to that of an equal partner in the world community of nations. Many dressed in his white robe of a common soldier and accompanied by title, his empress, and a procession of richly accounted priests spent a moment in prayer. While he did so, the warrior host of Ethiopia rose itself and surged towards the sound of battle, and the rest is history. In remembering the victory of the Battle of Adowa, we trust that this victorious connection will be made and all lessons and strategies learned will be applied towards our mission today in advancing on a new frontier of development and liberation initiative for the Rastafari Council and the Rastafari Continental Council. What I'm basically saying is that let us study the strategies that was used in winning that war over Italy and use them towards moving forward for centralization and organization. The Rastafari movement took root in Jamaica following the coronation of Emperor Selassie in the 1930s, a spiritual movement based on the belief in Haile Selassie divinity. Its followers congregated around the preacher like Leonard Oil, who founded the first prominent Rastafari community in 1940. Additional branches surfaced by the 1950s. What is the difference between what Oil did and what Daddy was doing right now? So this is what I'm saying is that your formulas already established among us other people how to get the job done. Food service can also show you the for 3 years. We have 5 government institutions in court, including the big Attorney General. We have been in court for the past 3 years, and they cannot release the GMO copies and rice because of that act. So I am saying that 5 years. So I'm saying that there are formulas within these organizations that we can utilize. So what we need to do is to get a think tank, right, to study how these organizations are able to survive. We're still happening right now, but we're able to do what we did, right? So I'm saying now that there are some fundamental formulas that was used to build these organizations that we need to identify. But we need to get researchers who will actually go in there. We need some more technocrats to go in there and find out exactly how it was done. So we have our own cells that we can study to use as a model to be able to actually get the understanding of centralized and organization for future development and so on. So we have to be practical. We don't need to get into too much theory. We need to be more practical and utilize what we have. Rastafari roots can be traced to the 18th century when Ethiopianism and other movements that emphasize an idea in Africa began to take hold among black slaves in America. For those who had been converted to Christianity, the Bible offers hope through the passage of Psalm 63:31, foretelling of how Princess shall come out of Egypt, and Ethiopia shall soon stretch forth her hand unto the Almighty. This was strengthened through the late 19th century, rise of the modern Pan-Africanism movement, and particularly the teachings of Jamaican-born Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who reportedly told the followers to look to Africa where a black king shall be crowned, he shall be the Redeemer. Additionally, the 1920s brought such influential proto-Rastafarian texts as the Holy Pibit and the Royal Parchment Scroll of black supremacy to Jamaica. It is important to write our own story. These brothers, they wrote the whole biblical text for the movement. So, as I said, the formula is already there. The Rastafari movement is a socio-political, religious, inspired resistance movement which agitates against the neo-colonial, capitalist, imperialist, and racist, and Eurocentric power structure which called Babylon. Rastafari is seen by many Rastafarians as divine, with its critical perspective of religion, identity, economics, race, racism, politics, culture, and other issues. Rastafari represents a significant counter-hegemonic force, not only in the Caribbean but globally. In what ways does Rastafari as a counter-hegemonic social movement present ways of resistance to neoliberal and neo-colonial authoritarianism? How Rastafari resists authoritarianism, for example, through critical reggae music, a focus on self-sufficiency and leaving the system, the rejection of a white God and believing a black God, and Afrocentric identity, dreadlocks, and political actions. Despite the strong and at times violent repression by colonial and neo-colonial state actors, it also testifies to the significant positive changes that they have brought into the consciousness of the oppressed masses. Even though the Babylonian system still exists, the spirit of Rastafari resistance has encouraged people worldwide to stand up against authoritarianism. Rastafari represents the hope. Rastafari represents the way. Rastafari represents the direction for the poor and oppressed masses. Those were the people that we came here to represent and stood up for. So in moving forward, you cannot have a Rastafari movement that is there for the oppressed, for the upper class, because that's not how it started and that's not its main mission and purpose. We are not here for capitalists, we are not here for imperialists, and we are not here for oppressors. I want you to remember that. Don't oppress your own brothers, don't support oppressors who oppress your own brothers. Do not join with forces that oppress your people like Israel, America, England, and so on and so forth. We are here for the poor and oppressed people. We must always remember that. Stay on the side of the poor and oppressed people. What does that mean is that in any decision that we make as a group to move forward, it must be in the interest of the poor and oppressed masses. There must be some class consciousness to it. We cannot be thinking of building up the Star Line Credit Union to some people who have some big money in their pocket, or some people who want to rob your credit union and work for them to do that. Right? You have to make sure that the credit union serve the poor and oppressed people, because it's a cooperative. It's about sharing, equality, and justice. So we have to always guard and protect our organizations against oppressors like that. It's a duty we have, right? That we have to make sure that that happens. Because otherwise, you're not going to be on the side of the Almighty when you do that. Because Jah, Rastafari, for the poor and the oppressed, and has proven that continually. Okay, let me move on here. Rastafari broke in many barriers in society that place to destroy the movement, professionally and academically. Rastafari penetrated deep into the very society that created these very stumbling blocks to prevent its growth and success. Okay, we know that we have the 3 mansions, right? And what we call mansions organization. Even though they have their own different orientation, religiously, politically, culturally, and socially. We have been able to unite all those groups in Ghana. And I give praise, I would have praise and respect to that brother because of his personality. He was able to make a Boba man, and a 12-child man, and a Naya Bingi man sit down at the credit union and make money for benefit their family and themselves. Right? This cannot happen in Jamaica. Boba man is there, Naya Bingi man is there, 12-child man is there. There's not that kind of unity. Right? But we were able to do it right here in Ghana. Right? And there's nowhere else in the world. Trust me, I think I lie at here or research it. There is no Rasta group in the whole world. Don't even bother mention Jamaica. Because every time we say, oh, Jamaica have everything and way. There is no group in the world that has built a credit union consistently, build it up to where it is right now, and have the people's funds in the safe and secure. Even though you might hear some rumors that some little things happen, there's a concerned shareholders inside the credit union. They are like some watch lions. Anybody who tries to do anything inside, they just yam them up. See? So we have that as a mechanism. They are the members, you know, the same members, but these are the ones who are very concerned of the credit union. They make sure that no thief no in there, no robber no in there, or whatever the case is. Right? You don't have that. Go to Jamaica and see, they tell you how many times people give them money in Jamaica for bill. All kind of things. The musician they complain. I give this group $200,000, $500,000, and they can't give a count for it. Let somebody bring that come and get the Black Star Line for the union and see what we do it right here. Let them come and get the Rastafari Council and see what they do. When we just started this Rastafari Council and the credit union, a whole heap of people, bad-minded people, was spreading the rumors that, oh, cakes, that the boss got, they're going to keep the money. When they came in and they took over, I mean, we had 2 transfer of leadership. And when these 2 brethren hand over them paperwork and thing, nothing missing, nothing on paper. So any rumor that you hear out there saying that the Basco and cakes that robbed the credit union or they would have robbed it, appear alive. See? So these brethren, I test them myself by living with them. I'm not from Ghana, I know, Jamaica I come from. But I come here and I live with them and see that the heart is clean towards the credit union. And it's a good organization for you to become a part of, because the next 10, 15 years you're going to see some strides. And you're going to say to yourself, so what? That's a one. So I am saying this to say that the mansions them established, and they have done quite a few. Because of that, the boss got experience in 12 child, because 12 child, even though I birth by about 12 child, the difference is 12 child is an organization that I've learned so much from as a youth coming up. I've learned so much from 12 child that I'm applying it right now here in Ghana, right? Young man started off as a cow foot jelly seller. He was selling jelly made out of cow foot. And vision come to him, say must go up on the house top and gather 12 people. 12 men and 12 women, and that's what he did. And 12 child is all over the world, right? They are very disciplined when it comes to organization work, making money, building. They are the most successful Rasta when it comes to those things. Right? And that was used that training from the principles of 12 tribes. The Bobo came in Jamaica as a youth. I was afraid of Bobo. Because of how they stay serious, they don't talk to nobody, they just carry them broom. They just carry them, slip up them sandals, sell them button, and they just walk past you. They don't buy nothing from shop, they don't go to party, they don't go to dance. They don't partake in our society. Very disciplined and very serious. And the fence, where they used to build the fence was like from the ground to the sky. So you can't even see the yard when you're doing inside here. See it? So them seclude themselves and most of them say, my Lord, Majesty, see? They're not busy with society. So they taught us up to be self-reliant, how to be independent, right? Those are some of the role models that we have. We have a lot of role models that we can use towards this centralization and organization. This is centralization. This is organization that we have here today, right? Because we are doing something that is not even happening in Jamaica, bringing so many different mansions with different persuasions and doctrines and dogmas and whatever, under one roof to build a Rastafari continental cause, right? And to build a credit union. So we are doing it, right? So we need to just use this example. The Emperor Chiefs, they are becoming a part of us now. See, so that's another angle again that they are actually bringing together to expand it, right? So the Bobo came, they were very creative in making these different things and so on and so forth. And then they taught us black pride, right? They teach you black power, they teach you how black first and all these different things to make you understand that the black man is not no slave, the black man is inferior to nobody, right? So you must have respect and pride for yourself and dignity, and you must have discipline, see? Yeah, black supremacy. They make you know the black supremacy. And they stood up for that. And it's not only we who became Rasta benefiting now, the whole society. You have gunmen in Jamaica, wicked men who will kill people, right? They will murder and they will rape, right? But when they get in a tight situation, they say Rastafari. They're not going to say Jesus, because they see Jesus as an oppressive force. But Rastafari, even though they are wicked people, they see Rastafari as more something that they can relate to, right? So, for the Bobo, we have learned a whole lot from the way that is concerned, and the mission still continues. We make a mistake and call the Ethiopian World Federation a mansion. Ethiopian World Federation is not a mansion. Ethiopian World Federation is a mansion, you know. Ethiopian World Federation is the organization that Emperor Haile Selassie has built for we, the black people of the world.
That's the head.
That's the head. You understand? Dr. Bernard Carrington, who is brother guard of the 12th tribe of Israel, he had charter 15 Ethiopian World Federation before he became a 12th tribe. See? So the Ethiopian World Federation was established by Emperor Haile Selassie, Dr. Melako Bayen, right? He sent him on that mission to establish that because people were robbing the money, the donations that they were getting. So he sent them on that mission to establish the EWF. And the EWF was for black people of the world. It wasn't even for Rasta. Rastafari, because Rastafari, no Haile Selassie, and Rastafari, love Haile Selassie. We are the ones who have championed it up until today. A lot of those other people, they fall off and left it to Rastafari. So it's not a mansion, but if you call it a mansion, it was a government that Haile Selassie was setting up. That is the reason why Emperor Haile Selassie make sure that he had an observer seat inside of the United Nations established there for the Rastafari, for the EWF. He set that up. Haile Selassie set it so that we could go to the United Nations and observe, participate until we could get full status inside when we develop ourselves. I don't know what happened to that seat today. All the mansions, including Bobo, 12 tribes, etc., they should come under the EWF. Yeah, they should come under the EWF. And the reason why I say that today is that there is no other 12 tribes is not a government. Bobo is not a government like that where encompasses all the black people of the world. Bobo is more for Bobo, races. 12 tribe is for 12 tribe members and so on and so forth. And all the other organizations that come up. So, EWF is a governmental organization that we can use within the United Nations. And we should take it up and start using it again so that we can address the atrocities that is going on in the world with America creating genocide, robbing people, doing all different kind of things. just like what Trump is doing right now. We should be in the UN sanitizing the United Nations to make it as an organization to work just like the way Empire Selassie wanted it to be. That was our role. That's why he put EWF inside here, so that we'll be here to do the right thing, to make sure that the world is regulated. So that mission is still to be done by the EWF and by all the rest of the world. Yeah, all these organizations have contributed to its achievement and success. However, the lack of direct involvement in the political arena as an alternative force have created some disadvantage to the Rastafari movement, empowerment politically and economically. And the reason why I'm saying this is that when we started out the movement, we were more into doctrines and religious beliefs and whatever. And they would say, oh, we don't want money, fire burn money. Money is the root of evil. And all these different kind of things we used to say. It was necessary at that time because they wanted to be independent and wanted to be self-sufficient and all of that. So you have to burn Babylon and stay away from it so you get your strength. But now we're in a world where they call global village, where the whole lot of mix up, and they're forcing us to use this one currency. Money is not the only currency, but they're forcing us to use this one currency to live. Right? It is a tool, it's a weapon just like a gun. Right? So we need to start, get serious about that. That's one of the things that is lacking within Rastafari. Is that we are money conscious. I am guilty of it too, because I used to say the same thing. That's why I have money today. That's why I do have money right now. Because I ingrained that in myself so long. I live more on one side, which is the righteousness side, and the holy side, and the whatever side. And that part I never want to deal with. I've had so many opportunities to make money seriously. And even when I get money, I can't even manage it the way I'm supposed to manage it. I don't believe in it. But we need a new generation who is conscious of economic power and wealth, right, so that the movement can move forward. I'm sure the Black Star and Credit Union or the Rastafari Council had a certain amount of money. Would have done much more with this conference. Much more, but we give thanks for what we have. Right? So that is something that we need to tackle in terms of moving forward for the centralization and organization of Rastafari. It is in this slide that the Rastafari Council and the RCC mandate is relevant on the continent of Africa and eventually the diaspora in general. In order to achieve this, necessarily, the RCC and the Rastafari Council must apply greater scientific approach to accomplish its future mission and goal. A lot of times, we are not scientific about things. We just dream and we have a lot of superstitious ideas or whatever. 1 is 1 and 2 is 2, and so on and so forth. So we need to be more scientific in our approach. Clearly, the Rastafari movement is not immune to all of the challenges that are confronting the poor and oppressed in the world over. What we then ask the Rastafari Council and the RCC can apply to have any significant impact, that will be the solution to the issues at stake. Okay. A lot of our people are in committee of this event, and I saw all the youth, 3, 4, or 5 of them consistently working towards the organizing of this program. And before I go any further, I would like that was going too far, because I have something to say, well, you know, fix that man, but I have to say it. So I'm glad it was to be here. Yeah, what I was saying now is that since 17 years old, I was in school, Jamaica School of Art as an artist. I did school when I was 13 years old. Because I had asthma at the time, so I couldn't go to school and study because I was sick of me. My mother decided to send me to art school. When I went there, I was 15 years old. And they turned me back because of the fact that they were drawing and painting naked women in class. And they were saying that a 15-year-old boy can really know these naked women. So, go back until you come 16. That wait 1 year before I entered Jamaica School of Art to become an artist. And it is from there that I met Musa Baruka, which is my mentor, who came and introduced Iman to the 12th tribe of Israel, which Daddy Pastor is the leader here in Ghana. But when I ready to deal with the historical aspect of Rastafari, I will go to that aspect of it. But Pastor,
vibes up,
I was saying that.
Vibes up, little while.
Aye.
Go on, just go on. Pump up your vibe. More fire, more fire.
We'll give you a better one. No, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Line up.
Yes, sir.
Milk is better than secret.
Rastafari. Never sure. The last year is perfect.
More fire.
Yeah, I never want to, when you know what they are about.
Yes, sir.
I wanted you to be here to hear what I'm saying. I was telling the audience that are the bridging and sisters in that. I'm vexing you because you create something where cause me to sit down there and wait. I've been waiting a long time right now on my feet to come and speak. Because you create an organization where you have so much branches all over the place. And it takes so long for me to get my time to come and speak. Don't make me not dirty, I tell you the truth. Yeah. And I'm down here and I said to myself, hold on, when did Bosco do all of this thing? I was trying to figure out to myself, where were I when Bosco was doing these things? And I'm not trying to be individualistic, you know, because one man can't do all the work, you know.
True.
But I'm telling you something right now. Just like the NPP said, they say Kwame Nkrumah is the founder of Ghana. Right?
Yeah.
And Minister do you them still, you know, Kwame Nkrumah is the founder of Ghana and I can justify it. And I see Bosco. Bosco is the founder of the Rastafari Council. Bosco is the founder of the representative for the Continental Council. Justify and verify the fact that he is the founder of the Rastafari Council. And I will tell you why I say that. Me have a skill. Original Rastafari have a skill. Zero have a skill. Uncle Nash have a skill. Yetchet have a skill. All of us have a skill. I will focus in our area. You see that the Bosco? They have a skill. I'm not sure what it is. I don't even know why you call me to come and speak on behalf of organization and development for the future of Rastafari. I don't know why I did it. And Bosco wants to meet up and leave, and I have time to do everything anymore. And I tell all of them, Ryan Asante, you worry me every day, come and do this, come and do this. And I said, Bridget, right now I'm 64-year-old. I've been there, I've done that. I've been there and done that. I want something new to do. Give me a different role. When we get my rest, I'm going to come back again and have some strength. But it's still hard now, why?
The only time you have an excuse is when you have life no more.
Which is not possible. Yeah. So I want to go back to that one. The reason why I'm saying that is that we have an organization, and I'm going to use the Rastafari Council for my example of how to build an organization and to have it sustainable and to have centralization and organization working all at the same time. I don't need nothing else. I don't need no textbook theory. I don't need no other model than what this engineer that Bosco have done in terms of the Black Star Line competition, Black Star Line Credit Union, and the Rastafari Council. Daddy Bosco don't vex with nobody. That's one principle I learned from him. The man is trying. The only time he get me can may say one word, like when he came a couple days ago. He said something, and he not vex with me now. He just said, judgment. I'm going to say I like it. See, if not disrespect me, if not anger me in a bad way, he just said, judgment. See, this man used intuition to build the Rastafari Council. Intuition. If not, use no textbook theory of how to build organization. He's using intuition. He deals every single man as an individual to who you is and who you are, your circumstances and your situation. This is our deal. And if anybody over here is honest, they can testify to the fact that what I'm saying is true. If you know the man and deal with him personally, you can vouch for me that I'm speaking the truth. Right? This man deals with people on an individual level based on your realities. And that is what you need in organization building. It wasn't an easy thing for him to build the Black Star Line Credit Union. It wasn't an easy thing for him to build the Rastafari Council. Right? All of us fighting getting there, all me fighting too. All me fighting too. All of us fighting too. But the whole away. All of us fighting. But because you have a certain amount of humility, you have a certain amount of love, somebody you can't make him get vexed. Anytime you see him get vexed, you better run. You better disappear. Like tell the truth. When you see Daddy Boss get vexed, you better run and disappear. Because you have such a level of discipline that you can tolerate a whole lot of foolishness. And that was what you call sacrifice. You cannot have sacrifice if you don't give something that is dear to you, which is his life. Because when we are attacking, he's actually putting his life in danger. So he's giving his life to build this organization by standing up and listening to some of the madness that some of us have. Some of the stupidness, some of the anger, some of the misbehavior, some of the indiscipline. He sit down and he take it and he deal with it because they have a greater purpose in life. If you're a 12 child man, you know, I was a 12 child man and I know something that this is a 12 child, you know. See? But if I'm a bridging, I even not tolerate 12 child right now. I'm a Christian, see? So what I'm saying now is that task he gave me to do, I am going to use him as an example of how to build an organization, make it sustainable, centralization of an organization for the future of Rastafari. I'm going to use him. And I'm going to use the Black Star Line Credit Union, and I'm also going to use the Rastafari Council and its role in the Rastafari Continental Council of how to build. This is just one part of a series. We get started now. But we are going to take it to the next level as we go along to actually practically show you how to apply certain principles when it comes to organization to make it work. Today the Black Star Line Credit Union, we have over 1,000 members. Right? And it was an easy thing to build that. And the next thing I need to say is that Daddy Bosco did something in Ghana that not even the Jamaicans have been able to do in a Jamaica, and they are the founder of Rastafari. Not even the Jamaicans able to do it. The Rastas in America don't do it. The Rastas in England don't do it. But it is done in Ghana. See? So when I say that, it's not because I want to praise him, you know. It's reality not after it. It takes a special quality as an individual to build an organization. That is why they say Kwame Nkrumah is the founder of that. Because when those big five or small five, whatever they are, when they were sleeping in the bed comfortable with their wives and doing whatever, Kwame Nkrumah was making mosquito biting in, going to Volta, going there when the car break and Kwame Nkrumah was there, jumping at church from one point to the other, doing the work. When Kwame Nkrumah came to Ghana, they only had 3 branches. In the space of a year, Kwame Nkrumah had 300 branches. So, who is the founder of Ghana? I can go in depth of it and show you practically why I say that. So, I use my prejudice as an example. And we must not take people for granted. The people that you see around you, don't take them for granted. The Bible tells you, say, we're not a Bible man and Daddy Bosco know it. I don't quote Bible too much, but I will quote it to see them. The Bible tells you that you must be careful how you deal with strangers, because they may be entertaining angels unaware. Some of us are angels in your presence. True. Some of I and I, we are angels in your presence. Because you have to recognize that those individuals in the Bible, they were just like me and you, in their time doing what they're doing. So it's nothing different, right? And I'm sorry I have to say that in front of you, my Empress. I know you experienced the same thing with this man here. You know, one day, not even one day, talking all the while, Daddy Bosco promised they will go and we come and have a meeting with the Rastafari Council. Then we have another meeting for the Black Starlight Corporate Credit Union. But the day before or the week before, we promised his son that I'm going to take you to swimming. So you turn up and play, turn up and music up, and said, Daddy, I'm ready to go to swimming. And Bosco said, boy, the meeting not done yet, you know. I have another meeting. And these are the sacrifices that I'm talking about, that some of us make with our wives, our children, our family, right? And when we see a man doing certain work and when we get up and criticize him and call him all kind of names, I will say the same thing what Jad Bosco said. Judgment. That's what I would say. Because you have to look at the reality and see that the man is making. And the Empress can tell you, she knows more than me. Yeah, run. The Empress knows more than me in terms of how many times he's not there to do certain things that they offer for the children and for her. Right? And these are the sacrifices that leaders make. If you go back and read the speech that Emperor Selassie made about leadership, it's all about sacrifice. That's what leadership is, you know, put your damn life on the line and when they kill you for the things that you believe in. So when we are here, I would say Rastafari, and we big up your chest and say we're militant. Some people have medal upon their shoulder, some have all kind of medal upon their chest, and they are soldiers in a job army. But they're not ready. If somebody cut them with a knife, somebody shot them, or somebody take them life to the cause or whatever deal with. Then you're not ready for this work. Honestly speaking, I am saying that Rastafari working about commitment. Right? Rastafari working about sacrifice. In the days in Jamaica when I started coming as a youth, I was standing on the side of the road and the policeman would stop. I mean, I have a medal on my chest, you know. I have a medal in His Majesty, this, that. And then just stop and then just show me one time, take off all of them. Take them off of my chest. And shoot the car and take off my crown because I was 12 years members for that crown, just like Empress. I have a microphone on Friday going to headquarters. And then just take it off of me. I said I was so vexed I wanted to shot them. But what I'm saying is that these are the sacrifices that you have to make when you take up Rastafari work, right? So for we to be able to do it in such a number, and so that the boss got to slowly make me wait so long before we could speak. Because there are so much branches all over the place. Right now, I say, boy, give him a big hand. Give him a big hand. Because there are times when I get tired. And I tell Bosco, I go on a sabbatical now, I can't take it no more. And him alone stay there. He is the one that kept all of us. Ask my brethren then. If Daddy Bosco not there, or if he was there, I'm telling you the truth. The Black Starlight will be there. The Rastafari Council will be there. Because we have our skills that are different, but we have a special skill. And me identify it as intuition. You know how to read people, you know how to see the things in a some way where me not see it and you not see it. And if he's not here to do that, we don't have an organization. And then we find another person like him who have that quality, because those are some of the things that it takes to keep our organization. I am praising the big time because I want everyone to understand that when you have leaders in your life, or people who have leadership qualities, don't take them for granted. Me take it for granted sometimes though, but sometimes I have to get myself and say, you're dealing with bridging like that, you know, see the kind of challenge and responsibilities you have. Right? Take your time and go back, just like when the people the other day said, judgment. I worry me now. Because I barely have a discussion and an agreement about something. I'm going to go back to my house and I say, right, I'm a fix now. I'm going to like go down the bus and go like him and see it. You understand? So I'm just blast it out and blast it funny. When we wake up in the morning about 4 o'clock, so I take my children by the school bus. First thing I look on the phone, this is this big word, judgment. I said, what did I do this birthday? So I am saying these few words that I wrote my papers, and when I wrote it, it was incomplete. Because it was more on a theoretical level of organizing and centralizing, and one aspect was more bothered on a practical level, but it was external. And the revelation I get in terms of what was taking place behind my back, secretly, with Bosco, building this organization. Believe me, I think that's a lie. Tell Bosco, tell me I tell a lie. It's not, it's love. And it's tapped certain qualities the leaders need. Because me personally, would have vexed out of people and gone, long time. The way they deal with me, would have fought fire upon them and gone. See, but him have the ability to do it. So that's right now. Bob Marley said, talk about why they kill the prophets and whatever. Right? We need to be careful how we have around. Anyway, I think that kind of leaves open stone for me to go into.
Garvey was of the opinion that black people should have the